So apologies. Hi, everybody. We're back. Sorry. Nope. Coming back. Sorry. Second dropout. It's the second time we've had that same hang up. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what's causing it, but it literally just freezes the screen so that it can run one channel and that's it. And then it dies and then it locks up and then I don't know what's going on. So hi, hello, I'm back. There's me, there's this. Okay, I can change channels now. Hello, we're all here, we're fine. Welcome back, good to see you. Sorry if I dropped out. There's a lot going on, we'll be fine. So here we go, we'll continue.
Unbelievably well. Their immune system, I guess, or whatever is stronger.
He's talking about kids, by the way, and how they don't get sick. And so some kid with the sniffles is a case, that idea. Never realizing that that child passes it on.
So when you do 25 million tests, you're going to show you have cases. And by doing all those tests, while it's good to do them in one way, in another way, it makes us look bad. And it's...
No, it won't. In the long term, it would make you look good if you gave a shit and you actually worked, because technically speaking, the number would go way up, but the hospitalizations and deaths would go down. The problem is there's still an outsized number of hospitalizations, and even the people who are now surviving have permanent organ damage and other shit that's wrong with them. Summer follows this one guy who got COVID, who's been in a coma for weeks. They had to amputate his leg. He was a Broadway performer. It was brutal.
But do you mean slow down testing?
No, I don't mean slow down, but if we did slow down, or if we didn't do so many, let's say instead of 25 million tests, we did 5 million tests, we'd be very low in cases right now, and everybody would say...
So yes, he does mean slow it down because it's making him look bad.
Isn't that wonderful? By doing...
Need to get house... Yes, they're definitely pulling... Steph's dogs are definitely pulling the wires.
So much and being so advanced. Not only did we do a lot of testing, but we're far more advanced than any other. We have the 5-minute test. We have tests that they don't...
Which is a 50-50 coin flip. It doesn't work. That's why so many people in the White House ended up testing positive.
Even think of other countries.
It's a new stream of the old stream. It's the same stream.
You know, you hear about...
Yes, he does mean slow it down.
South Korea. They're always congratulating me on the great job I've done with testing. But
yeah, that's what they say when they call. I'm sure that's how it works.
Media, the fake news doesn't get the word out. That's why it's good to speak to you. Right. So we've done 25 million tests. That means we...
Please tell everyone what a good job I'm doing, Brian Dillweed. Please tell them I'm being awesome.
A lot of cases, and that's all fine, but it makes us look bad, even though it should make us look good.
Interesting. So when you looked at what happened in Tulsa, you talked about this in Tulsa.
That's like saying, it's... The reason America has so many gun deaths is not because we allow so many assholes to have guns who shouldn't have them. It's because of all these cops who keep showing up and writing down somebody got shot and the body was taken away. If they didn't say that, we wouldn't have all these dead people.
The other night, and your personal style, your personability has always been your greatest asset.
Yeah, that's what... Yeah, your greatest asset has been your personal style. Look, The Apprentice was the show it was for the same reason the Real Housewife shows are the shows they are. Not because the people there are worth watching, it's because they aren't. The essence of The Apprentice, and especially the Celebrity Apprentice, was how rich and famous people would let this no-talent asshole tell them what to do.
Candidate or as president, you did not sell out an arena.
Okay.
Does that make you want to?
When I went there...
Nobody sells out an arena. They're free events.
It was the first time. Now, I heard two...
Nickelback sells out arenas. Kiss, Pink, Madonna, U2, they sell out arenas. These people show up for free.
Weeks of nothing but you are going to die if you go. You are going to die. You'll never live again. You'll never breathe again if you walk into that very beautiful arena. They treated us very nicely, except for one problem. They called a curfew. So people that were in line had to leave.
That's not true. That is a complete lie. There wasn't a curfew stopping people from getting into the event. And if it was a 9 o'clock curfew.
You had people
I like Nickelback too. I like a bunch of Nickelback songs. I'm a Nickelback fan. There you go. I think the Foo Fighters are America's Nickelback. Prove me wrong.
sitting waiting for 4 or 5 days in advance, and they called a curfew, and they had to leave. I don't know where they went, but they had to leave. You know that.
They didn't go anywhere. They weren't there to be had. It's a 19,000 seat arena. There were 6,400 people in it. You dismantled the outer stage, not because people couldn't get to it, because people didn't come.
And then I called up and I said, it shouldn't be curfew. I called the mayor and I said, Mayor, you can't do a curfew. It's not fair to our people. They called a curfew.
Oh, and by the way, the curfew was 2 days before, and he told them to rescind it.
Because you had some very bad people coming. They did come, and the police did a good job, but they called curfew, number one. Number two, you had nothing.
This is why there were only 6,400 people at his 19,000 seat rally.
But horrible press for a week and a half, 2 weeks leading up to it.
I don't know there was tons of horrible press about the protests, but lots of people showed up to those things. There were tens of thousands of people in the street about that stuff.
You were going to be in bad shape if you walked into the arena.
Yeah, because his supporters are assholes who don't wear masks. Not because of large groups in general, which is bad enough as it is, but because you would literally be around a bunch of other people who literally, I can say that word, who literally don't believe the science, refuse to wear a mask, and want to spit in each other's mouths to prove it.
And various other things. Now, despite that.
And various other things. UFOs, candygrams, land sharks.
We actually had a good crowd. For anybody else, it would be
a
good crowd. But I agree.
For anybody else, it would have been a good crowd. Now, do you want to go through all the... I named all those bands and performers who filled that place. In some cases, the tickets were a couple of $100. The cheap seats were still, $80, $50, but the ones down front, you're going $200, $300, $500, and they filled the place. You did a free event and could only get 6,400 people in there.
It's the only time that I've had a vacant seat since I came.
That's not true.
Down the escalator.
Since I came down the escalator, has he got paper with him?
The First Lady. But this just came out. As you came in, you didn't give this to me, but this just came out. And people have to see this. Trump rally. You see what that says?
Oh, God. This is like an episode of The Office. The British one, not the American one. The British one's the only one that exists.
Fox News, the largest Saturday night audience in its history. So,
yeah, and all the people watching wanted to watch it.
Speech the other night was the largest audience in the history of Fox on Saturday night. That
just covers the fact that everybody's still quarantined at home. Almost his entire audience, they had nothing else to do, and they went and put it on just to show the libs, owning the libs by keeping your TV on.
Many, many years and many, many big shows. So this speech, now, let me give you this. Online, it was even bigger than this. So online, you have many different sites, but they say it was the biggest thing in a long.
Oh yeah, I covered it. It was huge here. I don't think you'd like what I did with it, though. I don't think you can count my numbers with yours. Just saying, it's not quite the same thing.
Long time. Now nobody's going to write that, and the reason
Fox did. You're holding it up. You're literally holding up someone writing it in the mainstream media.
I talk about it is because if you don't tell it yourself, nobody else is going to.
You can't say nobody
because you've been fair.
Yeah.
No. Fox put it out.
Yeah.
Look at him holding it up. It's so sad. That's so sad.
And Fox put it out. So it's the biggest, the largest Saturday night audience in its history.
Yeah, and what does that compare to? How many people have actually, of those followers, watched Saturday Night Fox? Is it reruns of the shows all week? Because it's arguably how many live things have they done? Because MSNBC runs the best of or the last 2 days of shows.
Nobody's going to say that. I'll say it. I'm saying it now. If I didn't say.
Am I offline? Did it go offline? What happened? It says offline on my thing, but did I go anywhere? I think I'm still here. Hello? Yeah, okay, it's on.
They'll put it out. Nobody's going to pick it up because the fake news won't do that. But think of what that means. Now, a lot of people saw it. A lot of people went to Tulsa, and it was rough because they had...
Yeah, Tulsa. Couldn't even get in the place or whatever, and it was rough. We had to dismantle our outdoor stage and cancel our outdoor speech because there was no overflow crowd at all.
You know, so-called protesters,
Okay,
anarchists, and various other people.
Yeah, that's what it was. Anarchists ruined the whole thing.
And they said, let's go home and watch it on television.
That's what they said.
But this is much more important. We had a very nice crowd of warriors. They were warriors.
Yeah, warriors on the front of spreading COVID to their family and friends.
But it's the first empty seat, but these are the best ratings we've ever had.
Interesting.
I think that means something, because that to me
Yeah, what does it mean?
is like a poll.
Right.
And online, even better. We got so good at
That it's like a poll of just my sycophants.
testing. You know, what we did is a miracle between the ventilators and all of the things we did.
No, it's not. A miracle would have been, you know, last year we looked at the strategic reserves and we recognized we have to maintain those ventilators because what if we're going to need them? And so we looked at it, we did a breakdown, just kind of felt it, you know. We just felt it that we should probably, you know, ventilators might be, you know, if we have another H1N1 or something like that, or a SARS or a MERS happen in this country, that might not be enough in a country of 340 million people to have 19,000 ventilators on reserve. And we certainly, I just recognize, and while we're sitting here talking about it, I just noticed the repair and maintenance contract on these things that keeps them working is close to expiring. We should probably work on that. We should probably find another company to make sure that those are doing, if they're not doing the job, or we should re-up that contract to make sure that. And then a year later, this happens, and wow, we were so prepared. That would be a miracle. This is in the middle of it going, oh shit, we let the ventilators sit. Half of them, the rubber seals on them have rotted because we stuck our thumb up our ass and blamed Obama for 3.5 years for something we were in charge of protecting.
But we got so good at testing that we've
You're not so good at testing. The Abbott Labs test is a 50-50 coin flip.
done 25 million tests.
Yeah, and those are PCR tests, and every single person who's tested with that didn't come up positive can catch it again tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that.
We've done 20 or 21 million more than Germany and these other countries.
Yeah, and we have 5 times their populace. 6 times. And we're only doing 5, we have 6 times their population, we're only doing 5 times that number of tests. So per capita, we're what? We're just sticking our head up our ass and hoping for sunshine? Because, I mean, really, what's per capita?
When you say per capita, there's many per capitas. It's like per capita relative to what?
Right, so.
You do more tests, that means you're going to have more cases. So
No. You do more tests, you're going to find more cases. You will not find more cases than you have.
we've done so good that we're showing.
This is the dumbest. He keeps saying this. By the way, he was like, you don't mean to slow down testing. Yeah, but if we did slow down, it would be a lot better. If you think about it, it'd be better.
We have a lot of cases.
Yeah, the Seinfeld finale was 76.3 million people.
And everyone's saying that they have more cases. Well, we have more cases because we have more testing.
No, you find cases by testing. You don't have cases by testing.
So they can test a kid who's got sniffles and is going to be better in about 2 hours because, you know, the young kids have done
Right.
No, he's not going to be better in 2 hours after he has the sniffles from COVID.
unbelievably well. Their immune
He's going to spread it for 4 days on either side of those sniffles.
system, I guess, or whatever is stronger. So when you do 25 million tests, you're going to show you
I don't think so, Dank.
have cases. And by doing all those tests, while it's good to do them in one way, in another way, it makes us look bad. And it's crazy.
Again, they're playing just the audio version and the picture version, but no, it doesn't. Okay? Here's the thing. Ultimately, testing a lot and having lots of cases and finding all the, if you overdid it and you're like, oh my God, we found because basically they're saying there's 10 times as many cases as we're finding. So there's 20 million cases running around. Ultimately, if you found all of those cases and you still managed to keep the hospitalization and death rate low, you'd look amazing. It would make you look better. You would go, we found all these cases and we were able to limit their exposure so that so many of the people wouldn't end up in the hospital and dead.
But you don't mean, do you mean slow down testing?
No, I don't mean slow down, but if we did slow down, or if we didn't do so many, let's say instead of 20.
Yeah, what do you mean if we didn't do so many? What's the difference between slowing down the tests and having fewer over time?
5 million tests, we did 5 million tests. We'd be very low in cases right now.
No, you wouldn't. You would be low in how many cases you found. They would be spreading worse.
Everybody would say, isn't that wonderful? By doing so much.
No, they wouldn't say it's wonderful. They'd go, clearly that's not true. We would basically be acting like China.
And being so advanced.
Which is what he's hoping for.
Not only did we do a lot of testing, but we're far more advanced than any other. We have the 5-minute test. We have tests that they don't even think of, other countries. You know, you hear about South Korea.
They don't think of them because they don't work.
Always congratulating me on the great job I've done with testing.
No.
But
why would South Korea, that has managed to keep their death rate below 300, congratulate him?
Media, the fake news doesn't get the word out. That's why it's good to speak to you. So we've done 25 million tests.
Look, kill me, just can't wait to get out of there. He wants to keep walking, but they've been hung up next to this door with him. He's like, he's getting on a rant. He's talking out of his ass. We don't need this footage.
That means we show a lot of cases, and that's all fine. But it makes us look bad, even though it should make us look good.
Mr. President, we talk.
That is one of the dumbest leaps of logic in the history of Earth.
The history of the White House. What do you think when you're walking through the colonnade here, when you talk about the history of this place?
Well, it's got a great
It's though
history, and all my life I've seen presidents and leaders of other countries, from dictators to prime ministers to presidents to kings and queens. You see them walking along the colonnade, and you see this is a ramp. Interesting story. It's a ramp, and this.
Really? This is what he's going to... And Kilmeade loves the ramp story. Tell the ramp story, Papa. Tell it to us again. Tell us how it was like an ice rink and you were in leather-bottomed shoes. Tell us again. Tell us about how nasty Joe Biden, when he ran up it, he probably was a fake ramp.
It was built for FDR. This was a newer surface when he became president because of his wheelchair situation. So
the wheelchair situation.
It goes right here down, but it's at a little bit of an angle.
Is it at a little bit of an angle? You mean a little bit of an incline?
But this is a very soft angle.
Right. Now, you remember the moment?
What the hell was that? Jesus.
You know the campaign, you know the play-by-play of it, but you remember the moment when this became your office, when this became the place you live? Did you have one of those?
I do.
I remember the first time I farted in the chair. It was like 4 seconds.
I remember the first night more than any other night. And
when they were changing my diaper and I was blitzed out of my brain on meth, and I was still tweeting as they tried to take my shoes off. My feet swell when I walk too much because of all the salt in my diet. And but stop staring at my neck, Gina. Brian, quit it.
Any other time when I walked up.
That neck waddle is tucked and sliced.
And you know, the Lincoln bedroom is right next to where I stay. And you think of the history and you say, it's my first night at the White House. And you really have to think, you sort of say, because you grow up with the White House, right? The president, the White House. And all of a sudden, it was the first night out of 4 years. Now we're into it 3.5 years. And we have an election coming up.
I don't know why they're playing this music in the background, but what was that?
You know, when you sleep in it and you're like, I'm sleeping in this White House and the bedroom, and then you sleep in it. And that was, you know, on the first night, it was the first night. It's the first night, and now it's been 3.5 years, and we got an election coming up.
Listen to that. Can we revisit that real quick? What's it like the first night you're in the White House? Oh, it's right next to the Lincoln bedroom where I stay, and
first night more than any other night and any other time when I walked up. And you know, the Lincoln bedroom is right next to where.
Look, what? Hold on.
president.
Run this by.
Angle.
Right. Now, do you remember the moment? You know the campaign, you know the play-by-play of it, but do you remember the moment when this became your office?
And this became your office. That's the question. Tell us about that moment when this is your, and what we want to hear is the awesome responsibility of the office and that you're taking it very seriously. That, and it was a joy and you love America. Just say those two things and we can move on. Please just say that. Please, for the love of God, all you have to do is say, it's an extraordinary moment. It's that words escape me, but you're overwhelmed by the beauty and majesty of the office and the history that goes in there, and the responsibility of this is now on me, and I take it very seriously because of the safety and security. Like, how hard is this to answer this friggin' question? Good Lord.
When this became the place you live. Did you have one of those?
I do. I remember the first night more than
It's a great story too. Let's all listen.
any other night and any other time.
I remember the first night better than any other night. What was that like? Tell us.
When I walked up, and you know, the Lincoln bedroom was right next to where I stay.
Okay, but tell us about, you were going to tell us about the first night that you stayed in where
And
you were.
you think of the history, and you say, it's my first night at the White House.
So you're sitting there and you think of the history and you think, this is my first night at the White House. That's what I'm thinking. This is my first night at the White House. You think of the history and you think, this is my first night at the White House.
And you really have to think, you sort of say, because you grow up with the White House, right? The
You could think about it as this is the White House, right? And it's the White House.
president at the
And
White House, and all of a sudden, it was the first night out of 4 years. Now we're into it 3.5 years, and we have an election
well, yeah, that was such a story. And I felt like I was there.
coming up. But at that time, it sounded and seemed so far away.
They burned this to the ground.
The other election seemed so far away 4 years ago?
Right.
Imagine how it felt for us. Glad to, Dank. Fear not.
They built it up again. And then by
Mostly the interior. The exterior was not,
Yeah.
stayed, but they had to fix it. But the interior was pretty
They had to fix it.
well burned out.
as a builder, can you imagine what Washington was thinking when he picks this place out and it's all swamp and it's a compromised location?
I think maybe they got it better than they do nowadays. But they picked the right spot, and it's an incredible building. If you look at it from this angle, I think you might see
From a real estate point of view, it's, you couldn't even get the permits nowadays because they try to save like the snowy egret or some marsh warbler.
it. That is a great shot, because nobody sees that. This is the Rose Garden, and I just
Nobody sees that, just me. And that's what I think when I look at it. It's my first night at the White House, and nobody gets to look at this but me and like special people like you, Brian.
think that's a great shot. And if you look at the detailing around the windows,
Right.
and it's just
I would have hammered that off when like those pieces of art I removed from when I bought Trump Tower
an incredibly
with my dad's money
beautiful
and Russian and Chinese cash.
place.
Mr. President,
Imagine the edit that they had to do to put that in there.
it's hard to believe up until the Civil War, you could walk up, knock on the door, and have an appointment with the president.
Yeah,
Can
well,
you
you
believe
used
it's
to
the
have.
same job?
So Andrew Jackson, when he was president, they had a party for America in the White House. Thousands of people poured into the building. It was different.
They wrecked the place.
They wrecked it, but it was a little bit different.
Yeah, it wasn't a good idea.
Well, you know, Andrew Jackson.
They're showing the Andrew Jackson statue that was going to be pulled down.
Well, you
Yeah.
did a great piece on him. But they had a big party, and it was a different time.
It
but
was.
they had their own difficulties.
Yeah, was it a different time? You mean before like airplanes and assault rifles and cocaine, shit like that?
Everybody has certain difficulties. They had difficulties, and they had safety difficulties also.
When you
Did they? Yeah, but the nice thing is that it was like a good 35 seconds between shots.
go through your legacy, the 4 years or the 8 years, you go through it. Do you, when you look at those portraits on the wall, and when no one's around, do you ever say, where do I line up? Because you're a competitive guy by name. Where do I line up? Does that matter to you?
Well, they actually change, and the president has the right to choose where
Everything goes.
he or she should be. And I haven't thought about portraits yet. I think that's a good sign, right?
I think it's very humble of me, right, that I haven't thought about where my portrait would go. Although I did halt the hanging of Obama's in there, which I see it's what you're getting at. But I think that it should hang right over the gold shitter I put in.
If I'm thinking about portraits,
Then it's over.
They say, what's going
Thanks, Bell.
on over here? So I haven't even thought about it yet.
Right.
I think we'll have a very good spot. I think history will judge us as having done a very good job.
Really? You think that? Because I don't think you think that. Thanks, Cassie. What's this music? They went from the majestic piano stuff to sounds like my pause music.
Do you want to go in?
Yeah, here's the Oval Office. You are
Please explain to us that it's round.
unique in that, really, Truman was not a rich guy. Lincoln was not a rich guy. So when you come to a mansion, it is a major upgrade in lifestyle. You didn't really have it. This is not an upgrade in lifestyle.
Well, not
But is there something special?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. His apartment in Trump Tower is expensive by New York real estate standards, but it's a shithole apartment. It's full of curly-Q, new money, gold-leafed bullshit. It's a classless, grotesque obscenity. It is the equivalent of gold teeth.
About this.
So it's a little bit like Air Force One. You get onto it and you say, I wonder whose plane is nicer. But when you say it's Air Force One is Air Force One, right? This is the White House. I find it to be a magnificent building.
You say, what is better, Air Force One or Air Force One? As far who's got a better plane? Because it looks kind of crappy inside. I don't know how it became this expensive. My plane is way cheaper and has there's not a gold toilet in the whole place on Air Force One. Of course, you can live in it nearly at the edge of space for weeks on end in case of a nuclear war, and no one can read the communications in or out of it. And they've got TV sets in every closet, which are hooked up, weirdly enough, to computers that go to supercomputers in NORAD. And there's the football, and I don't know where they spend the money. Thanks, Megan.
I look at that building, and I look at it even from that corner, from that angle that few people see, because you're talking about the Rose Garden, right? How many people get...
I don't know what the deal is with him going, few people get to see it from the Rose Garden. No shit. Few people get to see the Parthenon. And?
To see the Rose Garden. To me, it's...
Very few people get to see the bathroom at the Come and Go outside near the Broad Stop in Wisconsin, because most people pull over and they go right into the Broad Stop itself. They don't use the shitter at the Come and Go, but they could. But they don't. That's a view from there that few people see. Largely because there's large boxes of Monster energy drinks, and you don't even realize it has a bathroom at all. You almost have to ask. If you don't look up, you won't see the sign. Most people don't even know they can take a really resounding shit at the Come and Go next to the Broad Stop in Wisconsin. It's a sad thing. Very few people.
The most beautiful pieces of architecture. It's a great building.
I look at every president chooses what to put around him. You chose Lincoln as a bust and Lincoln as a picture.
Right.
You chose...
Yeah, and Lincoln was looking up and when they put him in there, and now ever since he's been in there with Trump, his head has slowly gone down, and by the end of the presidency, there'll be this hand just in front of Lincoln's face, like, fuck me.
Andrew Jackson. And is that Teddy Roosevelt underneath?
Yes.
Yeah.
And by the way...
Thanks, Carl. Thank you so much. And thank you, Nicholas.
They're taking down the statue of...
Teddy Roosevelt.
Teddy Roosevelt. So, explain that one. Benjamin Franklin, Thomas...
Yeah, Benjamin Franklin, because I heard Benjamin got laid a lot and he was fat like me, so...
Jefferson, George Washington over here.
This is the high-quality camera work of Fox News.
People say...
What part did they have to cut out? What did he start saying about Thomas Jefferson?
Jackson, remind your run for the White House is similar to Jackson's. He took his case to the people because Washington...
You both had crazy hair.
Didn't like him.
That's right. That's what he did. And
You both had weird jowly situations.
and he had one wild... In fact, until mine, they say that was probably the most incredible election. It was a pretty well timed. You talked about it and wrote about it beautifully. Andrew Jackson was a pretty wild guy.
But now in...
I mean, that'll be the name of the autobiography or the biography that Trump ghostwrites
Andrew Jackson was a pretty wild guy.
We're in the middle, while we have this conversation, we're in a war on history. They want to take Jackson statue out of New Orleans without Battle of New Orleans. We're not the same country.
I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all. I don't like anything that's going on. Now, federal, I've stopped. I've stopped federal.
What's this background music? Is so friggin' weird.
The states are, a lot of states are weak. A lot of people are weak.
There you go. That's it. That's your president, ladies and gentlemen. A lot of states are weak. A lot of people are weak. God bless America.
And they're allowing it to happen.
Hey, dang.
Hey, it's going over a little bit around the world now. They want to remove the statue of Gandhi, okay? All he wanted was peace.
Yeah, not so much. And Gandhi also took quinine himself and let his wife die because, you know, women. Not exactly perfect people. That's not the issue, and they're moving that one to protect it.
Going to take down Ulysses S. Grant. Well, he's the one that...
Ulysses S. Grant. Yeah.
Stopped the Confederates, right? So, you know, he was a great general. He turned... Nobody's stock went higher than his stock over the last 10 or 15 years.
But do you understand?
Nobody's stock went higher than Ulysses Grant. Ulysses S. Grant. Nobody's stock went higher. How's he next to Frederick Douglass? Because I hear he's doing some great work. Nobody's stock went higher. Who talks like that?
How you look at Thomas Jefferson, you look at George Washington, you look at James Monroe, look at James Madison. One thing they had, they were brilliant. They also had slaves. So how do we grow as a country?
They were born during a time of slavery. They were raised in an era of slavery. There was slavery going on for 200 years in the colonies before they were alive. 150 years before they were alive. And still they managed to have an awareness that eventually it would end, and wrote into the Constitution and had a debate about how the value of people in that process, and created the document by which, in its equal application, would allow for the end of slavery as we know it. Weird.
But yet not forget our past.
So you have to understand history, and you have to
Okay, tell us how, explain history to us.
understand the culture and so many other aspects of our country. And people can study that, and they can hate it, and let's all hate it. But
Let's all hate it. People are stupid and weak, and let's all hate it. Trump 2020.
you can't take down George Washington's statue.
Nobody's talking about George Washington's. Random assholes like an anarchist talking about taking every statue down is absurd. We're talking about Confederate statues. Don't compare them. Don't hide behind George Washington, your stupid, like, mid-level racist general in Louisiana.
And half of our country is named after Washington. You can't. We have to remember the heritage, the culture of our country. And you know,
Yeah, it's not the same thing. Yeah, our country, that's Washington, that's Jefferson. That's all. That's the lineage of the United States. And for better or worse, there are parts of that along the way. The South, however, and the Seditious Act and the Civil War was a 5-year period, which you don't normally, like, we don't have any statues of the 9/11 hijackers around going, well, you know, they kind of had a point about some stuff.
this is less important, but it's very important. Some of the things that they're trying to destroy are magnificent pieces of art.
Oh, this is ridiculous. Yes. Here's a good idea. Take all of the statues that are magnificent pieces of art that represent Confederate generals who fought against the United States of America, melt them down, and make statues in the same style of abolitionists.
Have you ever seen an area where a statue was removed and you look at the area and they put
Thank you.
blacktop over the top of it? They put asphalt
Blacktop and asphalt, that's the problem. So what they
over the
Why
top,
would-
and that's the end.
And what is this? And again, we switched music again all of a sudden.
It was the center of a town or a village, and now the statue's gone, and the whole village is like a different place.
It's like, yes, you must go to Pankot Palace, and you must retrieve the stones, and bring back the crops and the children.
And here's the other problem.
And basically, I went there. I went to Bangkok Palace, and I got the 3 stones back, and the other 2 fell in the river and they were eating. But the one that belonged to the village that I know personally, they gave me some food. So I brought theirs back. The other two I can't really speak to. They're probably downriver. Magic will probably bring them back. But the other guy, he tried to rip my heart out. And luckily for me, I mean, it's basically me. The woman who was with us was really no help at all or whatever. And I had an immigrant child, but I don't know. I've lost touch with him now.
A lot of these people that want it down don't even know what they're taking down. I watch them on television, and I see what's happening, and they're
Yeah, I watch them on television. It's my main way of gathering information.
ripping down things. They have no idea what they're ripping down. But they started off with the Confederate, and then they go to Ulysses.
No, different people.
Grant. Well,
Ulysses S. Grant,
what's that all about?
not Ulysses.
And they would knock down Lincoln. There's a group that wants to take down Lincoln. They haven't figured out exactly why yet. George Washington, Thomas Jefferson. I've stopped them twice now from going over to the Jefferson Memorial. If I weren't president, they would have knocked down. If a guy like Biden was president, they will knock down the Jefferson Memorial.
No, they won't.
Going to happen.
But Obama was president. We didn't knock down the Jefferson Memorial. Clinton was president. They wouldn't knock down the Jefferson Memorial. You're high.
Scott Key, the latest writer of the national anthem.
He wrote the national anthem.
So since you have done...
Well, he wrote lyrics for it over top. It was a poem. You know,
a lot for the African American community. What is your message to them who said my ancestors?
what have you got to lose except you die at a higher rate from COVID, which is really not a thing. And I've told everybody, go back to work. As soon as we found out this affected black and brown people, our immediate response in the White House was, we got to open up the country. I mean, this is too good to pass up.
Were enslaved because of their...
My message is that we have a great country. We have the greatest country on earth. We have a heritage, we have a history, and we should learn from the history. And if you don't understand your history, you will go back to it again. You will go right.
You mean if you don't know your history, you'll be doomed to repeat it? If you don't know your history, you'll go back to it again? Educating people and having statues celebrating people is a wholly different thing.
Back to it. You have to learn. Think of it. You take away that whole era, and you're going to go back to it sometime. People won't
No, we're not.
know about it. They're going to forget about it.
If we don't have statues of Confederate generals who murdered people as a reminder of their greatness, paid for and held up by the Daughters of the Confederacy, people won't realize that the Civil War was bad.
Okay. Now, what I do like, I like the idea of building new statues to people, to great people, people that have done something.
Like me, for example. Like, I'm going to have one of the skinniest statues ever.
I think that's okay. Right. But you don't want to take away
we don't want one that has the neck-gina.
our heritage and our history. And the beauty, in many cases, the beauty, the artistic beauty.
Put them in a museum then.
Some of the sculptures and some of this work is some of the great. You can go to France, you can go anywhere in the world, and you'll
Not anywhere.
never see more magnificent work.
No. There's some pretty amazing. Quite frankly, a lot of the statues are in a French style.
That's a factor. It's not the biggest factor, but it's a
No, it's not the biggest factor, but it's a reasonable.
factor.
What kind of edit was this?
John Bolton came out and said that doesn't work with country to country. What's your reaction to that?
Look, this is a guy with no personality.
I hired him because I heard he was a maniac and he was for the Iraq War and he had a mustache I couldn't stand. So I was like, and I asked him, what do you think we should do? And he's like, I think we should use the Libya model for Kim Jong-un. I was like, okay, you're hired. I don't like anything you have to say and I'm totally off. But you go do stuff and I'll be here tweeting.
All he wanted to do is drop bombs on everybody. He was one of the many people that got us into the war in the Middle East, which was a big mistake. I said to him, let me ask you, do you think, recently, I said, what did you think? He said, I think we made the right decision. I said, you lost me there. It was the worst decision in the history of our country. I know you may disagree with that. Worst? Well, now you might agree. At the time, you would have,
Yeah, at that point, it was the worst decision. Now that I've been in office, there have been a lot worse decisions that I've made.
differently. But
We ended up dumping almost the entire cost of the Iraq and Afghanistan war on our economy in 6 weeks during his presidency.
also, the Libyan model, you know what that means? One of the dumbest
Look it up.
things ever said. I think it was said.
Yeah, Brian, you don't know very much, so look up what I just say out of my ass.
Deface the nation.
See what I did there?
Model. He said the
He thinks this is so fun. Like, he has these moments, his Sarah Palin moments, where he's just giddy.
Libyan model. That was set us back. You have no idea. John Bolton was a stupid guy.
He was a stupid guy, but I hired him.
And he was a guy with no heart. And he also
I hired a stupid guy with no heart because I know the best people.
had a statement that he would lie whenever he had to. He has that statement. It's a well-known statement.
And that's why I brought him in. I was like, he's perfect for the job. No heart, stupid, will lie whenever he has to. You got the job. You had me at hello.
And I fired him.
But only after he disagreed with me.
And I didn't think it was a big deal. And I wasn't around him very much. But what he did do is he took classified information.
I don't know that it's not buffering on my end, according to my thing. Seems to be working. I don't have any frame dropouts, so apologies if it's being weird.
And he published it during a presidency. It's not, it's one thing to write a book after, during. And I believe that he's a criminal. And I believe, frankly, he should go to jail for that. And that probably...
Wait, he says right to he should go to jail for that.
Possibly will happen. That's what should happen.
No, he won't.
You remember the young boy with the sailor in the submarine?
Sure. Oh, boy. Timmy, have you ever seen a grown man naked?
Took a picture in a submarine.
He took a picture, sent it to his mother. And I think a friend of a 30-year-old submarine.
And the backdrop had sensing.
And the backdrop, he said, had sensitive information in it.
You know what I did? I pardoned him because Hillary Clinton should have gone to jail.
For what?
And she deleted 33,000 emails.
How do you know?
John Bolton, what he did is incredible. He took classified. That classified is higher than confidential. You have confidential, you have classified. It's the highest
Yeah, classified what?
form of information.
Wasn't classified secret.
And by the way, it's so important, whether it's knowingly or unknowingly, but in his case it was knowingly. He classified some of it. John Bolton should go
So he could maybe declassify it. Maybe he knew that it was an overreach. It shouldn't have been
to
classified
jail.
Your office.
as his job.
Give us an idea of what it's like being here, knowing there's pictures of Kennedy, John JFK Jr.
So this is the
underneath
resolute
You know, people who've been shot in the head.
desk, which is very famous.
Right.
It's a very famous desk. I'm giving you a tour.
And I could show you the picture of John with the panel right here. It's a panel. It didn't used to have the panel, but when FDR sat behind that desk, he wanted a panel.
Gee, why did he want a panel? To hide the fact that he was in a wheelchair.
This is an original photo, right? You can see it. And it's right there. And that opens up.
See, I told you about there not being a panel there, and then they took the panel out. I put the panel in because if I can't see my penis, no one should.
And that's John Kennedy. That's John.
See,
Oh, so this is a picture of a child trapped under a desk. Pizzagate. This is Trump. He's showing QAnon. Line up, everybody. This is a QAnon signal. Go, 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 go. QAnon plan alpha, plan alpha.
Who was a friend of mine and who was getting ready. He was going to sell George magazine. He was a good friend. He was a great guy. And he was going to run for political office. He would have been very tough to beat. He had a lot of things going, including the look. We're not supposed to be talking about look anymore and under the Me Too generation, but...
What? Why is it the Me Too generation that somebody's attractive? We can see that he's an attractive man, especially standing next to this, whoever that is. I mean, whatever. I mean, obviously he's at some, that's John Kennedy Jr., and he's visiting someone in a hospital that has some sort of shellfish allergy. I don't know who that other gentleman in the red tie is, if that's indeed a red tie or if he's just bleeding out from the swelling. I'm not familiar with who that could be, but I know he did a lot of charity, John Jr. So it was nice that he would, go visit someone in that bad a shape.
the look. And do you remember the first time you were in the White House?
You've asked him this already, and he still can't remember.
So I was here a long time ago. It was more or less of a fundraiser for Ronald Reagan. I was very young.
Was it more or less?
I've been doing this a long time, but I was very young.
What were you doing for a long time?
And to think here
Pretending to be rich?
we are in the Oval Office, which I would say is the most powerful, most important office anywhere in the world. I have friends coming in. I have
Of
people.
course, yeah. Of course you would. It's the Oval Office. Duh. Of course it is.
coming in. I have the biggest business people and heads of countries, and they sit back and they say,
Heads of countries.
"This is the Oval Office." It's pretty amazing.
And
That's what they say? Can you understand them with their accent? I mean, it must be hard. This is the Oval Office. It's pretty amazing. This is a Oval Office. It's pretty amazing. Yes. What a nice place.
by their reaction.
I've had hardened business people come into
Hardened business people. You know, the like people who sell carpet and they just cutthroat in the carpeting business.
this office
They like guys who will wake up in a cold sweat singing the Empire theme. 588 2300 no.
and start to cry. I don't think they've cried even when they were babies.
Even when they were babies, these guys didn't cry. What? What the fuck do you know about babies? That's women's work, right? Isn't it? He's like,
I've had people come into this office
And cry who didn't even cry when they were infants and had no other form of communication.
study it, look around. Could I look just for a second?
Could I look just for a second?
yeah, like Sergei Lavrov. Did he say that? Do you mind if I look around just for a second? Oh, I dropped something. I'll get it later. Let me look over here. These are lovely curtains. Click. This is wonderful. May I look at the back of painting? I just like to. It's a thing I do. I leave a little magnet everywhere I go. Little tiny round circular magnets. Not to be looked at. No, it's okay.
And they start to cry.
Oh, it's so easy. I can't believe how easy this guy's such an asshole. I'm sorry, Mr. President. I'm crying right now because before it would have taken millions of dollars and agents and like Tom Cruise kind of people coming in on a wire to get this kind of shit. And you're just letting me walk around and put listening devices. I could cry. This is so easy. Oh.
I have never seen anything like it.
And
Because if a man cries, I leave the room.
lastly, do you ever think
By the
of
way,
it?
was he tested? Because he's about 2 feet away. I can't get away from him.
I was tested
Was he
an hour
tested?
ago.
Because they're going to, you know what they're going to do? They're going to blame me. They're going to say, he didn't stay 6 feet away, and it's his fault.
But no, I got tested 10 minutes
That's
ago.
okay. Don't worry
All
about it.
right. Leslie,
That's a little inside testing joke that we do. Too much testing. By the way, did they test him? Because I'm not going to catch this shit. That's for poor
part of
people.
history. Have you thought about that, or did you feel
I
that?
think about it all the time. I just want to do the best job that I can. And again, nobody has done so much. I'll give you a list that
I'll give you a list of the things that I've done. Nobody, see all the history here? Lincoln, see him? Nobody's done what I've done.
another after another page
Ben Franklin, I've invented more things than Ben Franklin.
after page.
By the way, can you put the bust of Lincoln under the picture of Lincoln? I think there's a theme thing going on there, and it'll remind me who I'm looking at.
What we've done.
Gotcha. Now the question is, can I come anytime?
Anytime you want. You're always
That's so cute. They have such a rapport.
I have a feeling there's some people on the roof that won't like that.
Oh, that's they play they have the fountain because Brian Kilmeade just came when he said that.
Mr. President, can't thank you enough for the.
Oh God. So all right, that's the end of today. We went longer than that just because we saw this wonderful walk around, just fabulous.
There's a little bit of a ramp. And let me show you this poll from Fox News, from your own network, which you didn't bring, but I brought it myself. This room, most people don't know, is round. And how tall are you, Brian? I'm 5'9". Wait, I'm supposed to be 6'3". So can you step back a couple of feet? Because it'll make you look smaller because you're farther away. And why are you wearing blue? Is that a Democrat thing? Are you going to get me coffee? Do I have to disavow?
Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll be back tomorrow, 3 o'clock. And you can always visit us here, infotainmentwars.com. You can add that link and become a supporter of the show if you want. Thank you guys for the super chats today. I'm still overwhelmed at you guys. It's just awesome. Thank you, Carl and Megan and Cassie and Christina F. Thank you so much. I think I might have enough to actually get some new software and fix this. I'm going to hang up now with you guys and actually go work on that. And then July 18th, by the way, next Sexy Liberal show. And this Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific time, I'm doing a live stand-up show from my house for Flappers. So flappers.com, that's the comedy club. I posted a link on my on Twitter. I'll put more up as we go over the week, but we just confirmed that. So I'll be doing a show 7 o'clock on Friday night, live stand-up show, as if there's actually an audience. It'll be glorious. All new material, as always, which all my Flapper show are. And then I'm working on pieces already for the July 18th Sexy Liberal show, sexyliberal.com for those tickets. It's virtual. There's going to be a new meet and greet that I think will be better for everybody. And should I show you one kitten before I sign off? Should we do that real quick? Since you guys lived through so much stuff, let me see if I can grab one. They might all be sleeping, but I'll check. It's worth checking. I'm gonna see if there's a kitten available. I'm gonna grab a little kitty, see if they're around. Are they all sleeping? They're all knocked out. Yeah. I'm gonna go in and grab one. Let's see. Hi guys. Hi. Yeah. You're just hello. Are you guys all just in the little room? That's right. Oh, hello. Oh, that's perfect. That through the microphone for sure. I'll try to not fall over myself. Hi guys. Oh my gosh. All right, we're fine. We're fine. We're just I'm not breaking anything. It's the cats. I blame the cats. This is here it comes. Because that's what I do. Yeah. Hi. Hi, little fella. Hi, buddy. Yeah, look at this guy. Look at that. There we go. Hold on. We'll switch to a regular camera shot. There we go. Look at this. Hello. This is, yeah. Hi. This is one of the ones we're fostering. He was a feral. We found out back. Summer's been caretaking them. They've taken over our bathroom. We had to put them in a different room. Oh, he's a sleepy boy. They put him. We put him in the bathroom so that they'd have a floor, a linoleum floor they could mess up. And yeah, he's super cute. Black with little wispy white hairs in there. Hi, guy. There you go. Climb up there. It's good. You can't jump down though. Don't jump down. Just down there. Yeah. These are all good. What are you doing? Where are you going? Where do you think you're going? Where is he going? Look at this little guy. Look at him. Hello. So we have 4 of them. We're going to need to get them adopted at some point. Oh, did you wake up? Hi. Well, come here. Come this way. Come here, you. Come here. That hurts. There you go. Be over here. There you go. That's better. Hi. Yeah. There you go. Hello. Oh, that's a sweetheart. Here's a sweet little kitty. There you go. There you go. Hi. Yeah. Hello. Yes, I know. You're going to attack my hair next because you jump on anything that's long. There you go. Oh, we got another one. Is that Mickey or Rocky? Rocky. Oh. I'll swap you. I'll swap you for Rocky. Yeah, Rocky will be a little testy. Here you go. Here you go, kiddo. She's also sleepy, grumpy. Yeah. This is Rocky. She's the most independent. That's a sweet way of putting it. She's the fighter. She's the one that bit me when I first brought her in. She's the one who hissed the most. She was like in charge of hissing for the group. Now she's a sweetheart. She's just off on her own. That's right. What's happening? All of them purr regularly except this one. This one's a little more skittish. Isn't that right? You good? You okay? Yeah. Yeah. We call her Rocky because she's a fighter. She's got a twin sister who looks like her but with softer lines, and we call her Mickey. It's Mickey. And oh, hi, Maddie. Now the cats are all coming in. Is that Murph? Oh my God, it's a parade. Hi, Murph. I'm petting the kittens. It's okay. What? That's, I know. Okay, here, I'll hand her off. Give me 1 second. Give me a second. Hold on. I'll give her back to Mama. Yeah, I know. I'll pet you. Don't worry. Here you go. She'll go to Mom. She jumps pretty easily to person. All right, Murph. I'm sorry, buddy. Hi, Murph. Yeah, I know. Come here. I know. Everybody wants to see you because you're a big, handsome man. Yes, you are. Mwah. This is Murphy. Named after the law. That's right. You okay? You holding up okay? Is it crazy with all these kittens around? You don't know what to do. Murphy. Don't go, Murph. Don't leave me, Murph. I know. There you go. Yes, he's very jealous. I know. Well, I'll let you down in a second if you want. But you like your belly scratched like this? It just relaxes when you. We have 3 of our own, and then there's 4 of these ferals we're trying to get fostered. I know. Or that we're fostering, that we're trying to get adopted. I know. They think you're beautiful, Murph. You are. You're very pretty. You're okay. All right. You're a handsome man. You're a handsome man. Yeah. Would you want to lay down on the ground and get scratches? I've got to finish the show. Murph. Oh. Huh? Oh. Is that Mickey? Aw. Now Murph doesn't want to leave. He's like, I'm fine. Here you go. Hop down. You're okay. Aw. I know. I was petting you. Where are you going? There you go. So this is Mickey. This is Rocky's. Huh? Yeah, she's the lover. She'll hang out with you. Yeah, there you go. Hi. She's super sweet. Yeah. Mickey's adorable. There she is. Look at her face. Look at her beautiful kitty face. Their big eyes. Oh. I know, the lights are amazing. Yes, they are. Hello. Yes, you're good. Yes, you are. Such a sweetie. Look at these kids. Yeah. All the news that's fit to. Aw. Yeah, she's super sweet. She's very. The orange one's a purr-fest as well. But she's knocked out right now, I think, probably. Although she's the one who tries to escape by banging through the door. So, yeah. One time I had 9 feral babies in my bathroom. Turns out 8 were male testosterone. Oh, yeah.
We weren't sure about this one.
Yeah, we're still on the fence about what this one is. The first trans kitty. We don't know. Non-binary. It's a she, but she's on the fence. Yeah, look at that. Just hanging out. No big deal. Not climbing, not going anywhere. Just wants to. Here, I'll give you back to Mama, and she'll take you back in the other room. Hold on. There you go, sweetie. All right. There you go. Oh, zonked out that cat. Oh, I've got cat fuzz on me, or a tear in my shirt. No, it's fine. So I don't know that we're gonna get the final one. So I'll sign off now. Don't forget tomorrow 3 o'clock, 3 to 5 is our normal hours. Obviously, we went long today. I'm gonna go fix dinner, and largely because the software was funky, I'm gonna go fix dinner, and then I'm gonna go back to work and set up my other software in case this has just hit a snag. That'll be a problem. So I'll try and fix all those things. And yeah, and like Can't Stop Lying always reminds us, let somebody you know love that you love, let them know it, and reach out to them, especially somebody who's outside your normal realm of friends, or in the acquaintance world, or people you used to work with or go to school with or whatever, because everybody's going through a lot of mental anxiety around all this stuff, and it's really nice if they just hear from somebody going, hey, you know what, I've been thinking about you. I want to check and see if you're okay. I hope you're well. Use this as a time, when we're going through this, as find what's extraordinary in it. I've been woodshedding a bunch. I'm on level 15 with my piano learning. Very excited. Playing with 2 hands now. Love you too, Caleb. Practicing every day. I'm going back to school and taking. I'm redoing. I have this, and I've had it for a while. The Dove S.S. Simmons Film School 1 year. It's 2-day film school, and I've got the DVDs. So I was like, I'm going to go back through all of those and go back through all of film school in a year. You know, a year or whatever, a 4-year film school program in a month. And then I've got a bunch of other stuff that I've hunkered down on, because I feel like if we can woodshed during this time, we come out better on the other side of it. So, Dank, hi, how are you? Love you too, Tyson. Thanks, you guys. I need to see Cam. He's not coming up right now. He's busy playing. That's awesome. Can't Stop Lying. Video software self-training. Which software are you using? Which one are you using? Final Cut, or are you using Premiere, or yeah, because I'm a huge fan. You see Cam so bad, I guess, for some reason. Oh, well, it happens. I understand. Yeah, use this time, you know, like you use any winter. Oh, DaVinci Resolve. That's nice. Yeah, it is slightly different than both those. Like Final Cut and Avid and Premiere all kind of lined up how they do stuff. I don't, you know, DaVinci Resolve. It's better for color correcting though. Long term, it's amazing. I think he's playing Roblox, but yeah. But anyways, I'm gonna sign off, you guys. I'm gonna go fix some stuff and work on this and eat and have dinner with the fam, and then we'll get back, you know, tomorrow at 3 o'clock and jump on with more of this. I'm curious if there will be an interview about any of this stuff, or if Trump is definitely going to have to push back against this stuff in person. There's going to have to be an interview where he's just going to have to call it BS, and people have to hang on to this. They have to, you know, this is not one of those stories you just let slide. So, that's my concern with it. So I will say to you guys, I'm going to be on this a bunch. As it plays out, and if it for some reason turns out not to be true, I'll say so. You know what's also good? Can't Stop Lying? Hit Film. There's a free version of it as well. Look into that, because some of the effects that come with it are awesome, and you can get a free version of it. It's got some neat stuff in it. I'm just saying. Let's have a FaceTime about some of that stuff. Also, I'm a big fan of Film Riot. I don't know if you watch their stuff, but it's great. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Take care of somebody else. Be healthy. Be happy. You have to understand, our emotions follow our decisions, not the other way around. Most people think they feel something and then they decide what they'll do with that feeling. The reality is you've decided what something means before you feel anything. You know, if you hear like pounding in the next room and like loud thumping and a frightening clatter, you're going to perceive that differently if you're home alone or if you're in a music studio next to the drum room. You know what I mean? You've decided before your reaction. And a lot of the times when we see the stuff that's in social media especially, we have decided how we're going to feel about stuff before we even see it. And people will harness that and use it against you. That's how social media manipulation works. You've already made up your mind about what you'll be upset about, what you'll be excited about, and they will use that and give you half of the information and try to get you carried away so that later on they can scuttle that very belief. So be aware of that. And also, don't concern yourself with the things that are completely out of your control. Focus on what you can control and do everything you can to better those things. That's it. All right. I'll let you guys go. Take care of yourself. Take care of somebody else. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. Bye. See you. Have fun. Oh, let's see. We'll go this one. Take care, everybody.
I'm telling you straight. It's my way or the highway. So anybody who wants to walk, do it now.
Groovy.
I'm your father, Luke. Give in to the dark side of the Force, you knob.
Geez, you're real nice. If I didn't have puke breath, I'd kiss you.
How, in the name of Zeus's butthole, We need you. Hell, I need you. I'm a mess without you. I miss you so damn much. I miss being with you. I miss being near you. I miss your laugh. I miss your scent. I miss your musk. When this all gets sorted out, I think you and me should get an apartment together.
It's like I picked the wrong week to quit amphetamines.
Stop breaking the law, asshole!
Heat! Hands! Now!
Let me put it this way, Mr. Raymer. The 9000 series is the most reliable computer ever made. No 9000 computer has ever made a mistake or distorted information. We are all, by any practical definition of the words, foolproof and incapable of error.
I'm your huckleberry.
It's good to be the king.
Hail to the king, baby.
I'm dead sexy.
We're honored to have with us today our amazing Vice President, Mike Pence, and his wonderful wife, Karen.
To be a moron, to be moronical, an imbecile, like the dumbest motherfucker that ever lived.
I think there's some kind of deviated pre-birth.
Once it was reluctantly aroused. It was hard to get it aroused, and it is hard to get it aroused, but we got it aroused.
I think there's some kind of deviated pre-birth.
Take off, eh?
Well, it's a well-known fact, Sonny Jim, that there's a secret society of the 5 wealthiest people in the world, known as the Pentaverates, who run everything in the world, including the newspapers, and meet tri-annually at a secret country mansion in Colorado known as the Meadows.
So who's in this Pentaveret?
The Queen, the Vatican, the Gettys, the Rothschilds, and Colonel Sanders before he went tits up.
Sorry, I farted.
I feel like a Kentucky Fried Idiot.
Soon we will leave this lame planet and fly through outer space with cool aliens who like us. It is going to be awesome! Zoltan!
I was thinking of the immortal words of Socrates, who said, I drank what?
Just looking around here, I can tell you're a genuinely dirty person.
I got news for you, pal. You ain't leading but 2 things right now. Jack and shit. And Jack left town.
That was really cool, by the way. That was really cool, by the way.
I'm a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
Hey, Coke!
Geez, you're real nice. If I didn't have puke breath, I'd kiss you.
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.
Attention, you are now entering the debarkation area. No talking, no smoking. Follow the orange line to the processing area. The next schedule...
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Why don't you just sit there and bleed a while before you taste some real pain?
We've got entirely too many troublemakers here.
Beef jerky?
Oh, no, son, thank you very much. No, it gives me the wind, something terrible.
Oh.
Sorry, I farted.
Nice. Nice. Not thrilling, but nice.
Something strange happened to me this morning.
Was it a dream where you see yourself standing in sort of sun god robes on a pyramid with 1,000 naked women screaming and throwing little pickles at you?
No.
Why am I the only person that has that dream?
Throw me a frickin' bone here. I'm the boss. Need the info.
All I'm offering is the truth.
Groovy.
I'm your huckleberry.
I'm rich and I'm dead sexy. I'm a land farmer, motherfucker.
Call me Snake.
I'm dead sexy.
I'm your father, Luke. Give in to the dark side of the Force, you nap.
The golden rule. He who has the gold makes the rule.
Welcome to the real world.
Just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts, ma'am.
You have nobody guarding your potatoes.
Just the facts, ma'am.
You have nobody guarding your potatoes.
All right. Who wants some? Who's next?
Shop smart, shop S-smart. See this? This is my boomstick!
All right? Stop right there, and I'll bring back the sun.
That was really cool, by the way.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, it's a dictor.
What's a dictor?
To pee with.